Hey everyone, welcome to the Curious Girl Diaries podcast. I'm Layla London, aka The Curious Girl. Now, just to let you know, this podcast is not suitable for work. It's also not suitable for anybody under 18. But the rest of you consenting adults, let's get ready to talk about my sex life, sex in general, and everything in between in explicit, raunchy, fun detail. All right, here we go. Anybody that steps up and is willing to, kind of ride this Curious Girl crazy train right now is pretty amazing. And sometimes I had the Hitachi, other times I didn't. That's the fun thing. I hope that sex is always fun and exciting and, you try new things. All right, everyone. Well, welcome back. I have Q&A today, but kind of some exciting news. I'm podcasting from the Virgin Islands. Yes, I'm on a lovely little vacay here. And if you notice too, my voice sounds just a little bit different. I've got a little bit of a, I don't know, I guess whatever the common crud is that's going around this time of year, I seem to have gotten it, but I'm still having a lovely time. If you hear, palm trees and waves crashing, those aren't sound effects. That's really am. If there's background noise that's annoying, well, we're just going to have to deal with it because I'm in a hotel, a lovely hotel, looking at the water, and I would love to be able to do this podcast while I have my lovely view and am enjoying the scenery. So here we go. My first question, it's actually just kind of a comment, but I'm going to expand on it. It's from someone that left it at the website. It says, Layla, great stuff. Really enjoy reading it. Feeling left out a little as another guy sees accounts of great favorite of mine, Peter, I don't think you should feel left out just because you're in your 60s. Hey, I'm not opposed to older gentlemen. 60s is that would be on the top end for me. Again, it's not so much about the age. So I want to with that because I've all seen people, they're older in age and just they don't strike you as older. It really just depends on the person and, kind of who they are and what they're about and how they carry themselves and how well they've taken care of themselves. And there's a lot of different factors, Some people just have sex appeal throughout their whole life. So again, it's not so much 60, older. You shouldn't feel left out. There's plenty of women that love older guys. I'm one of those women. So there you go. And the prostate massage, yes. That I have BE to thank for. He's the one that kind of got me going in that direction. And, I hope to expand on that with, more guys. Or I keep trying to do cowboy, but it's he'll only let me do it if I have a threesome with him. I don't think it's going to be a straight trade though, because we're having a threesome and there's how long is that going to take? How long do I get to put my finger in and touch his prostate? I want to know. All these things need to be clarified. He doesn't like it when I get into the details though, but that's kind of how I feel about it. So anyway, well, Peter, I hope you're getting your prostate massage and I hope you enjoy it a lot. All right. Thanks for following and writing in. Okay, the next question. It's a comment from Larry, and he's talking about Mr. Big and me telling him about the podcast. And he says, tell him the truth. It will set you free. Well, Larry, so here's an interesting turn of events. I have been talking to Mr. Big. We've been kind of, covering a lot of ground. Obviously, sex is a big part of my life. And so what I was surprised to find out is that he's open to threesomes. and I'm thrilled about that. So, he'll do a male, male, female, and of course, female, female, male. Well, how hot is that? Now, not only, but I am in fact, as I stated earlier, on vacation, and I'm not alone. And Cowboy N is here with me. He's not here in the room, but he's here, and Mr. Big knows about that. So we're kind of baby stepping, and but it's exciting to me that there's for the to continue some shenanigans. We'll see how it goes. Now, I also am tentative about it because we'll see how Mr. Big feels when I get back. This is a big step. It's one thing, I've shown some video and I'm not things like, it's one thing to say it was in the past. It's one thing to be the person that's not, the person that you love is with someone else. So, right now, I'm certain, I'll get back, I'm, coming home to, but we'll see how that goes. I'm cautiously optimistic, but to your point, references the podcast, and again, I'm moving it in that direction, baby steps. So, and it's not that he can't handle it, and it's not that he and I don't share everything. It's just, what on people are listening, now listen to it. The original intent, this is personal and private. Otherwise, I just use my first name. I'd use my whole name. This is who I am. So while it really, I understand it's a gray zone and a fine line there. And I'll have to figure out how to traverse those waters as time goes on. But it's not intent to, withhold something from him. It's just that it really handled carefully. And I'm working on that. So it's my intention to tell him. So just to put your mind there, what's going on with the mishearing about him? This must be from a couple. Okay. He's definitely, so update on me before I'm, and kind of quiet over the holidays. I hadn't talked to anybody, I hadn't done any podcasts, but I hadn't really, I was really only just with Mr. Big. And I kind of, he some time to get I just never followed. I do it. So, we were just each other going on and what we missed out on. And I was just, we had a conversation, and, he really got into, we had a great conversation and really got into, how we feel about each other, and kind of more so how he felt me, and just, I think, a little more truthful about, how he feels about this whole process and how it does affect him. And not trying to, again, I'm just going to generalize. I certainly don't want to reveal just talk too much about our private conversation. But, I think I mistook the way he was handling all of it, and which is not to his, not to say anything bad about him. I've said a zillion times, I wouldn't do it, couldn't do it, wouldn't want any part of it. So anybody that steps up and is willing to, kind of ride this Curious Girl Crazy train right now is pretty amazing. Really. So there's a lot that goes into it. And so I'm looking forward to seeing him when I get back, and, and just, and moving forward. And I think that, we've kind of, I think we have a better understanding now of each other. And that's really, that's great. That's what it should be about. That's what relationships are about. So I think if you're missing him, you're going to get more, you'll be getting more soon. Okay, there we go. Next question. with all these guys and all these relationships, how does everybody not get jealous? Well, it's interesting. I think I've kind of commented on this before. I think the word jealousy gets a bad rap. Jealousy is a natural human emotion. I know I get jealous. I know I can get jealous. I know that the guys get jealous. Starting to, after my conversation with BE, I'm starting to understand that more. It's not a bad thing. It's not a dirty word, a dirty secret, something that you can't say to somebody. That's why, I wouldn't, I don't want too many details unless I ask. See, sometimes I do want details. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I'm in a detailed mood. I want details. Tell me this, tell me that. But, a lot of stuff, like if I don't ask for it, let me lead on that. Like when I'm asking about, if the guys are seeing other women, who they're seeing and how that's going, things like that. And then it kind of varies from person to person. It's a weird thing. But I guess to kind of go back to my original statement here is, these are just feelings. You're just going to have them. That's not a bad thing. It's how you react to that. It's what people do with that makes it, can make it really awkward, can make it really a bad thing. Something that starts wrecking your relationship. And basically, my belief is everybody, that's involved with me and myself, it goes the reciprocal, right? From me to the guys, that we all have some jealousies going on, and we just have to deal with it, and everybody seems to do that very well. So, it never gets weird or funky. So I hope people, to think that nobody gets jealous, that's just so unrealistic. Of course people do. It's just natural. It's not my favorite thought to think of any one of these guys with someone else. Like, that's going to warm my heart. No, of course not. But that is the fact of the matter. So, we just have to be adult about it and manage it well. So there you go. Okay. What's the most amount of orgasms you've had in one session? Oh, I don't know. My personal record was 15. And I'm telling you what, last night with Cowboy N, I may have topped that. I don't know. I lost count. I wasn't counting. I don't usually count. He might have some idea in his head. But, oh my God, it was just, there were so many, and like all different kind of strengths, and because there were so many different positions, and sometimes I had my butt plug in, other times I didn't, and sometimes I had the Hitachi, other times I didn't. It was just kind of like, and he was forcing them on me, and as he likes to do. There were times where I'm like, stop, and I'm too sensitive, or, like, I need a break before, I would have one, and he would just start me up again, like no break. So, my God, the bed was a mess. I mean, literally just squirting. I couldn't believe how much squirting, how much fluid. I thought I don't know where all that came from. I mean, literally. I didn't think I had that much fluid in me. So maybe that's why I'm drinking so much water this morning. Anyway, I don't know. I'd say we were damn near close to 15 last night. That's my guess. So it's still kind of right around there, but, a lot. I mean, a lot more than, more than you need to have. Which sounds kind of counterintuitive. I mean, is there a limit on them? Not really, but you know, when they're forced on you and forced on you and it's like, whoa, it's intense. So there you go. Oh, and look, I just got a text from Sir Ink. Oh, that's funny. I'll have to get back to him. Okay. Let's see. Next question. I love both Cowboy N and BE too. I'd love to meet them. Can you hook a girl up? Didn't we just talk about jealousy? Listen, bitch. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Well, where do I go with this one? First of all, I wouldn't pass any one of these guys around like a used dildo. They're not, they're not just dicks to be passed around. And I know you didn't. I know that the person that sent this in didn't mean it that way. Just you obviously, you see the hot things and fun things about them that I do. And, obviously then we have similar taste. But really, I would never, pass one to my friends or anybody really, just that's not my thing. And as well, these guys are both, good looking, well spoken, and and have no problem hooking themselves up, meeting, they don't need me to be their yenta and help them find matches. They have no problems in that regard. But for you, you just need to put yourself out there. There's a lot of good guys. I think the important part is screening, proper screening. Cowboy and I were just talking about this last night, the ratio of good when you meet somebody, like kind of good dates to bad dates. And I think I have a pretty good screening process. So most of the time, by the time I actually do meet somebody and have a quote unquote date, I'm pretty sure that I already like them, that there's something there. So, just, put your feelers out there, girl. And, I'm sure you'll be able to snag some, Cowboy N and BE equivalents. All right, there you go. Okay. There's a quote that you're only going to lay awake at night thinking of one person. Do you agree? And who is that one person? Oh, clever. This is like the who's your favorite question. You just kind of rephrased it. You tried to slide it in there. Well, since there's some different angles to this question, I'll just kind of nibble around the edges for you. Do I agree that you're only going to lie awake at night thinking about one person? I'd say that's pretty much true. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty much true. I agree with that. I think that probably for everybody, there is that one person that just, they're in there. They have impacted you. You think about them. I mean, they're kind of in your soul. They kind of get in there. So yeah, I think that's true. And who is that one person? Obviously, I won't answer that. But I do appreciate the creative way in which you lobbed that question in there. And, maybe keep trying. All right. How far are you going to take the BDSM? How far? I don't know. I mean, I haven't hit, so far, I haven't hit any hard limits. But, you know, but that would be, within the context of something new that I hadn't already said, I just know I'm not into that. Obviously, I discuss, you discuss with someone what you just pretty much out of the gate just wouldn't be up for. So, as an example, I don't want anybody peeing or pooping on me. That's that doesn't do it for me. And some people like that. Some people like to be peed on, right now that just doesn't really do it for me. Doesn't fire my rockets. I doubt that I'll change my mind on that, but stranger things have happened. So, again, that, there's already some things that have been ruled out from the get-go, but so far, every time the bar gets raised and it goes to another level, I'm okay with it. Now, I've said before, and this is probably a little bit controversial, and maybe if I get Cowboy in on a podcast, which I'm hoping to do while he's here, is to talk about the speediness in which things move. I'm impatient, and maybe that's a bad thing. Because obviously what he has done to this point has worked. But, and every time he, does raise the bar and we do take it to another level, I'm good with it. And so it's kind of been a slow and steady process. So where I end up with it, I really don't know. I'm not sure. I really don't have I don't have a clear vision for what the end point or, how far I'd go. And then I'd say, okay, this is, everything we've done so far. That we can keep doing all that, but, we're not pushing, we're not expanding farther than that. I just haven't gotten to that point. So I don't know. And maybe I won't, maybe there's always something new to try. I hope so. That's the fun thing. I hope that sex is always fun and exciting and, you try new things and people get stuck in ruts and sex is one of them. And, with the BDSM, it's kind of like there's always a new little boundary to push or a new subtlety or, nuance or, there's more choking or more slapping or more dirty talk or, using certain words or just, it's nice to mix it up. And it seems that it could be really infinite. I don't know that I'll hit the limit. I hope I don't. Okay. You see all these great guys. Mr. Big kind of seems like the odd man out. He doesn't seem to fit in your world. Well, I'm conjugating on that. He's not the odd man out. I can understand why it may seem like that because I haven't spoken of him ever until recently. But he's not the odd man out. He's the main man. So that's that's kind of, think about that for a second. He's not, he is Mr. Big, in my world. And he does fit. And we have this wonderful, great history and connection and things that tie us together that are it's so intricate. And just, when you have a long standing with someone, it's just really wonderful and fascinating how your worlds just keep coming together and how attached you are. And so I think that that your point of view is more because you just haven't really heard me talk so much about him. And, I've left that out. And, in the same way that, again, the Curious Girl Diaries it's like a diary that I'm choosing to share anonymously, but it's still private. The fact that people listen is just, it's still private because I'm unaware of, I don't know who you are and you don't know who I am. And it's kind of makes it real interesting that way, because I get to be just as honest as I would with, or could be, with myself. If I was only doing this for myself, which obviously I am, but then I share it and I get with people that I don't know. And so I'm not worried about what you're thinking or what your response is. And I also get feedback, which is fun for me. So it is quite an interesting phenomenon. I highly recommend it, by the way. Anybody, you could do it on any subject. But obviously, just when you're able to share a lot of yourself, be who you are, and be real personal about it. I mean, that's kind of how I think everybody kind of wants to be able to live. So it is a fun thing to do. So, but you just, again, haven't had that aspect. That's the one component that I did keep very private and didn't share. And so now I am weaving that in. And, I think as time goes on, again, I don't know how much I will or won't talk about him, but I hope I've left you with the impression that, this person means the world to me. And he is in no way the odd man out. Okay? Let's see here. I think this is my last one. I bet there are some people out there that really hate what you're doing and hate what you stand for. How do you deal with that? Of course, well, that's a good question, because I was not expecting haters, but that's a fair statement that there's people out there that hate what I'm doing and hate what I stand for. First of all, I kind of think that, you're going to have, this is just life. People are going to be negative. You pick a subject, it's just the way the world works. And a lot of people, call me, you get comments, whore, slut, you name it, right? All this slut shaming and then, body shaming and blah, 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 blah. It is kind of crazy to think that, again, somebody has to take time out of their day to send me like a nasty message to someone they don't even know. Like, they're so compelled. Like, I've offended them so badly when I don't even know them, and they're just listening to me talk about my life. My life is so offensive. So it's an interesting concept. It's been very eye-opening. But the truth is, again, these are just anonymous, random people out there. I have no idea who they are. And I kind of suspect, that because my life is pretty good, it's pretty good, that theirs isn't. And so, on some levels, I just think, man, because I think, what would it take for me to just attack somebody like that and, initiate just a negative message to somebody for no reason. I mean, obviously sometimes I respond to some of this stupid shit and, and I'll make a comment about it, but I'm not the initiator. I don't go out there hunting for blogs or podcasts or things that I don't like and then, sends it like, well, that was shitty, or, boy, you sound like a big old slut, whatever. I don't, I can't wrap my brain around it. Like, it's either I'm going to make a good positive comment like, oh God, that was great, I really enjoyed it, or or if I just don't like it, I'm like, no, I don't really like that, not for me, and move along, but I think I guess so, to answer the question about how I handle it. I mean, I think I handle it pretty well. I mean, again, for the most part, it just doesn't faze me. It's, again, these are comments coming from random strangers, and I don't know them, they don't know me. And again, I pretty much figure that there has to be something really sucky about their lives that they would want to take the time to reach out and be negative. So I feel sorry for them, on that note. I mean, it's like, that really says more about them than it does about me. So that's it. I hope that answered everything. I know I've got some backed up Q&A about my Sir Inc. interview, so I'll be getting to that soon. And like I said, I'm here in the Virgin Islands, and I've got Cowboy in here, so hopefully we'll be able to jump on a quick podcast, or at least it'll be some fun topics for me to talk about when I go home. All right, thanks for listening. I hope everybody has a great day. Thanks so much for listening. And if you like what you hear, refer me to a friend. And make sure you're following me on social media. Also, go to the website, thecuriousgirldiaries.com, and join my subscribers-only list for access to exclusive content. And as usual, questions or comments, you can always email me at curiousgirl@thecuriousgirldiaries.com.